Okay, thanks for listening. This podcast we'll call the Monday Recap because just listened to some of the press conferences and had a chance to look over Hawaii a little bit. So for your Monday Recap, talking about Hawaii this Saturday, it's a day game, 1 p.m. start at the Maverick Stadium. So definitely would recommend that game for anybody that doesn't have any tickets. I think it's going to be another good game. We'll see. I think a couple important factors on the Hawaii side that to watch, I guess, would be one, getting some injuries back. They played their backup quarterback against New Mexico State last game, which was really weird that it was the second time they played New Mexico State. They played a home and home with New Mexico State this season, which is insane to think about. That you would play the same team, especially New Mexico State, twice in one season. But anyway, they held out a couple guys that were close to being able to go, and should get those guys back against Utah State this Saturday. As always, Hawaii's not as good here on the mainland as in Hawaii. I think that'll make a big difference. Being an afternoon game, an earlier game, could make a difference depending on when they get into to Logan or how their travel plans work out. I don't know the specifics of that, but that'll be interesting to see. Maybe that can help Utah State get off to a quick start and make Hawaii play from behind maybe. But that'll be something to watch for sure. Hawaii is a big play, offense and defense. They had a couple pick sixes this season, so that's something to watch for sure. The Aggies need to win that turnover battle, and like Blake Anderson said today, yards don't matter. It's all about the score, obviously. But if you can get those turnovers and if you can make some big plays, that's how you win games. Quick shout out to PrimoGolfApparel.com, still our sponsor. These guys are awesome. If you haven't checked out PrimoGolfApparel.com, you need to try them out. If you buy a pair of their joggers or any of their products, you're definitely going to want more. Once you try them out, you'll be converted. I guarantee it. They have a guarantee as well. If you don't get the right size, if you don't like them, you can send them back. But you will love them. And I'm a big believer in it. That's why we continue to work together, to refer people over there, and check them out. Anything from hats to golf towels to belts to joggers to shorts, things like that. That's where you should go to get that stuff. So even if you're not a golfer, definitely better than the Lululemon, Travis Matthews, Nike, Adidas, anything like that. Any of those brands, Primo Golf Apparel is the best. I've tried them all. So definitely support them. This Hawaii versus Utah State matchup will be a good one. Before I forget, let me put my 2 cents in about Matt Wells being fired at Texas Tech. I think I expected this to happen. I think Matt Wells knew this was a possibility. That's why he signed a 5-year contract, and he's guaranteed a lot of money. I think that I can't blame Texas Tech for not wanting to have a team that's hovering around bowl eligibility every season. I don't know, or I know they didn't expect him to, and I don't really expect him to really take that team to double-digit wins. To win 10 games in the Big 12 or even 9 or 10 wins in the Big 12 would be a huge accomplishment. I'm definitely not saying it's an easy place to win. It's a hard place to win, and their expectations are really high. Maybe their expectations are 9 or 10 wins in the first 4 or 5 seasons of a new head coach. I don't know, but those are almost impossible expectations when it is Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas. But I think Matt Wells took the job, wanting some stability and wanting to have that financial assurance. He had that contract is guaranteed money. That's a lot more than he was guaranteed at Utah State. And even at Utah State, he was up and down as far as his record, as far as some, fans, and definitely a couple down seasons he could have been let go at Utah State. So I don't blame him. I think that's why he took the job. I hope that someday Utah State can pay their head coach enough, I guess, to and guarantee maybe enough money to make somebody stay long term, even if they do get offered $20 million to leave or something like that. I would hope that would be possible at Utah State, maybe even with Blake Anderson. But I don't know. I don't know how likely that is, and I don't know if that'll happen at Utah State either way. If a head coach who wins at Utah State and decides to leave and go somewhere else, it's a win for Utah State. It's a win for them, and I can't blame them at all, and I can't blame Texas Tech for wanting to win in the Big 12 either. So I think that's just my opinion on it, and I personally think it was probably a bad hire by the athletic director, and he should take accountability for that and take heat for that as well. It shouldn't just be Matt Wells' fault. Matt Wells was hired by an athletic director that believed he could win. So that's I guess we'll see what happens at Utah State in the long term with Blake Anderson, and maybe Matt Wells in a few years, or somebody from that staff comes back to Utah State. If obviously if any of the current coaches on the staff leave, you never know. That may be something to watch in the future. But all the best to him in all seriousness. That staff, especially the assistants who don't have as much money guaranteed. Thoughts and prayers to them and their family, and moving your family, taking different jobs, getting fired. That is a really tough job and a tough thing to have to deal with. So, kind of finishing up, or I guess maybe touch on Utah State basketball as well. First game is this Wednesday. Utah State has a couple, I guess this is kind of the main exhibition game this Wednesday. And I'm expecting big things from this team. I'm expecting this team to be better than they were picked, and better than a lot of people think they will be. Maybe it'll be interesting to see maybe the health of Brock Miller throughout the season. But other than that, I don't have a lot of question marks as far as this team playing pretty well. Maybe the question marks are obviously the guys that we haven't seen yet and the guys that are less experienced. But for the most part, I'm expecting this team to be pretty good. So we'll talk more about that throughout the week and throughout the season. Have some other guests on here to chat as well. And we appreciate listening. Any feedback, questions, hit us up on Aggie Up on Twitter. And, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms and give us a good rating. That always helps, as well as going to Primo Golf and supporting our sponsor as well. So appreciate you listening. See ya.